On the Hustle Show, we got Michael B. Jordan, the director and the star of Creed 3. And, you know, we know each other. We go way back all the way to Chad Science in Newark, okay?
Oh, the Corny kid, right?
No.
So, right, you can see even before this reporter is about to ask Michael B. Jordan the question, you can see Michael was waiting. He was anticipating this moment. So, for folks out there, Rich Team, who are among us now, who are slowly growing by the year, because as we have said many times, 2025 is our year. We are going to make this happen. Definitely like, comment, share, and subscribe. So this is a video that actually took place 2 years ago in the Creed 3 premiere, where basically this woman, who I believe she was a classmate of Michael B. Jordan. He was Michael Jordan at the time, not the basketball player, of course, having done the famous song, but he was there and he was a classmate. What she was basically doing, like a lot of these skeeves, scallywags, these riffraffs, she was one of those ones teasing him, saying he's not gonna amount to shit, he's lame. He was even taking headshots because he was actually he was on the come up, he was finding ways to make it, but he just didn't make it at that time. So I believe Michael, and I can relate to this a lot, he's one of those guys who really had a good head on his shoulders. He was focused, and he did eventually make it, which he knew, which I believe you could see a guy like him has talent. But these women, just like her and the rest of her L crew, were the ones like antagonizing him, saying he is corny, and he does the best response to this. Let's continue.
I did not say that. Misquoted for sure. No, you did not hear me say cry. I said we used to make fun of the name. But yeah, he is obviously killing things out here. How is the difference?
You can just see the bodyguard in the back. He's like, yo, this woman that done lost her mind, you know, like. And then like I said, I'm gonna talk more about this at the end, and especially even how my experience relates to this with Michael B. Jordan. But the moral of the story when you get from this is there's a lot of people who are, let's say, journeymen. Like they're not gonna pull like the rabbit out of the hat. They're not gonna score a slam dunk or score 3 points right away. For some people, it takes years of sacrifice, struggle, and perseverance to make it to where that level is of a Michael B. Jordan. So it's really nice when you see stories of this one who, this little mosquito, who was like saying like he wasn't gonna be anything, and then you're now interviewing him on his movie premiere of the movie that he directed. Bro, they say revenge is the best success. It was never demonstrated more than in this.
Difference between you actually directing and working with the same people that you were directed with versus?
It was awesome. You know, it's a family vibe.
Yeah.
Last nine years of my life, I spent on the Creed films. They're very supportive. You know, Tessa, Felicia, Rashad, Wood Harris, people that see me grow up. Yeah. And for the fact that I stepped behind the camera and finally got a chance to direct them, they loved it, they embraced it, and it was a wonderful experience.
And was it difficult?
It's really nice when you see Michael here, is even though because he's basically come across a hater. This is someone you couldn't really wish for him to have become like this. And the worst thing is just how fake she is. Like it's we didn't call you corny, we didn't mean that, da 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 da. You hate that effect. But Michael B. Jordan really has that class. He really has that level of class that even at this moment where he's now in a position, he can really dog this woman all the way down. He's in a position where he doesn't even have to speak. Like she should be getting down on her knees and bowing down to greatness. truly, like he is now, but he's taking the real sensible approach, because I believe people like Michael B. Jordan, and this is something like even I had to understand, is Rome wasn't built in a day, like truly, and that phrase means so great to me now. It is a marathon, not a sprint. When you got guys like him, who, as I mentioned before when I did a video about this, I remember the time when Michael B. Jordan, this was 10 years ago, I was still back in England, when the Fantastic Four movie came out, he was a part of it. At that time, he wasn't, I'm not saying he wasn't going nowhere, but it felt like he was just going to be just another actor at that time, just another numbers. And the same year he did Fantastic Four, the Creed movie came out. One of the best things ever happened is he was able to partner with Ryan Coogler. And then 3 years after Black Panther came on, and success after success, you know, paying the music videos with Snow Aguilera, winning awards. You understand? So sometimes it just takes that moment just to break through. But you got to give him his flowers. Michael B. Jordan really put the work in. I mean, even his beautiful co-star in Sinners, Haley Steinfeld, they said like there's probably no one out there now who has that same work ethic as Michael B. Jordan. So kudos to the man.
Difficult for you mentally because you're coming out of a different space.
I didn't know he was doing that athletic gear. I mean, I was staying in it. This is about y'all. This ain't about me.
Isn't this the sexiest man show off right here? Who's the sexiest man? Because now who's the sexiest man? Because I thought you said you're on the way up. He might be the one right now.
He is the one.
So yeah, Jonathan Majors, like kudos to him. He was the one who played in Creed 3. It's good to see like he's now in a better place now. But yeah, the reporter, like, what kind of question was that? But I realized what happened was that she really you know, when some people's plans like backfire and you kind of like lost the train of thought, I believe that's what happened. She tried to suck her up to him, saying like, who's the sexiest man alive? Hey, you know, I don't think you were calling me that when I was on the come up back in those days in middle school in Newark. No. Now you're here. Now you're worshipping me. You understand? But I honestly say, like I said, the Michael B. Jordan, he took the most sensible approach on there, because as big as you get, those ones who basically thought you weren't about shit, they're gonna keep on reappearing. As I said, it's like mosquitoes trying to suck like our energy, because we're destined for that greatness. They start appearing now more than ever. So there is a real sensible way just to handle that. Like, I love it when you hear, for example, she's interviewing me on my shit, and there's a big poster of me on my movie, and there's no poster of you. That's the best way. Like I said, 100 years from now, we will know a Michael B. Jordan. We're not gonna know this woman with this fake hair, fake eyelashes, and oh my gosh, the worst fake nails you could ever, and I mean ever see. And the Rich team know this. Let's continue.
This is the one right here. Yeah, see that?
Is it a tie?
Ain't no tie. We don't compete. Yeah, we don't compete.
Two number ones.
Technically,
Batman and Batman. Or should I? Oh no, can't say that.
Superman and Superman.
Superman and Superman. Sorry.
Luck with that.
Love you, bro.
Okay, so you are.
So I'm boys. Even you can see Jonathan Majors in this, just saying like she's corny. Yeah, I'm telling you. I just saying like this, like, because I'm someone who maybe this will be another video, but like I'm someone, of course, like I had my detractors. Like, there was a time before it used to really get to me, because especially when you're on the road, as I say, success is just a different way. You're on the road, you're sacrificing, you're going through trials and tribulations, you're still climbing that mountain and you haven't got there. It's a very, very strenuous road, and there's people who give up. Michael B. Jordan even talks about this. There's some people who quit just before that door is just about to open, just before. You understand? But that journey of going through that, it can be the most difficult shit ever. I talked about a video, I mentioned this on a live video. It's like I've been doing like, let's say, breaking into like modeling and like you could say that type of industry since back in 2010, and we're in 2025 now, almost 15 years. I've only really been starting to get that, let's say, notoriety, or like doors are starting to open from now. But I started this since 2010, 15 years. Some people don't know how many times the doors were shut on me. They said, no, we're gonna go with John instead. Failure after failure after failure. They don't know that. And again, I dealt with chicks like this who said, you're gonna be something, you ain't gonna be shit. You doubt that. And as I said, back in the day, it used to get to me. But when you kind of know like what your destiny is, and like you ain't gonna stop, you ain't gonna let anything stop on your trajectory, it doesn't bother you. Like I said, it's just something I just flick off my shoulder, and that's what Michael B. Jordan is displayed perfectly here in this video.
Also are going to do a new film with Will Smith very soon coming up. Is the rumor out there?
Not sure. We're still working on the script. That's something that I plan on doing in the future. Not sure when. With these movies, I'm just trying to get through this project.
Right,
so when I get finished with this one, then I'll figure out what's going on next.
And how is it filming in Atlanta?
It was amazing. I've done 4 or 5 films down here, shot a couple television shows, so Atlanta's a second home to me, and I love coming down here to shoot.
Favorite restaurant here?
Oh, man. Whatever hotel I'm in, their restaurant.
Well, you're not corny anymore.
So yeah, so you could see like in there, he was so quick to leave that interview. It was so much in there. So it's nice because as I said, Michael B. Jordan used, there's a lot of people when this kind of stuff happens to them. Like I said, I'm someone who's in this boat of you get told so much that you can't do it, you suck, we're gonna go with someone else, that you actually believe that you ain't destined for like something special. And there's some people who will take that and just become some negative, like resentful person, like, oh, that could have been me, blah blah blah. And I feel like if you can kind of just like, stop the noise and just like be like, no, this is what I like dreamed of like since I was like so and so age, and this is what like brings me fulfillment. You just need to keep on going. And I know it's as cliche as it sounds, like never quit. Some of the people who say never quit, they already quit 5 months ago. And this is a great you could say like a connection to put with this video with the Creed, the boxing movie, and Rocky's like type of you could say like his expressions and his like type of values talks about like he's know how much like times and how hard it hits, like how much times you come back up. We fool to learn how to pick ourselves back up. We fool to learn how to pick ourselves back up. So I actually got another video I'm actually gonna put, and this was actually Michael B. Jordan's ex girl. So before he became like Killmonger or the Stack Twins or Apollo Creed, this was a girl that he was dating like in his early ventures into Hollywood. Let's check this one out.
I think the biggest lesson that I would give to you guys out of this story time is don't sleep on the nice guys, okay? Mike was never a punk. He was never a pushover. He was just respectful, and he knew who he was even from that young age, and he carried himself as such. And
so this is a video I reacted to just last year of like his ex-girlfriend made a long video about dating Michael B. Jordan, and that's the thing. It's like these law. That's all they can do now. It's like they have to talk about you in order to, it's like I said, try to get some clout or try to get some notoriety. What it is with women, and especially women in the black community, unfortunately, is that the nice guy, and it's not even so much it's just a nice guy, it's just, as I said, it's a guy who doesn't really have a thuggish bone in their body. The one who's not the rapper, the one who's not the NBA player, the one who pretty much means well, like clean cut, clean look, even if, and this is another thing I feel like, I mentioned this in one of the videos, is that in the black community, especially for like when it comes to like, black women, like what's desired is, even if you're a fucking good looking, handsome guy like Michael B. Jordan, or even if I mention Will Smith, just because they're clean cut and they're like very like good dudes, that is not desirable to mostly black women. That is like the antithesis on there. And it's so fucked because in the other communities, if it's the white community, if it's the Asian community, if it's the Latino community, if you pick any other races like Arabic on there, any other nationality group, they would strive to get a guy like Michael B. Jordan or Will Smith on there. That's desirable. Someone who's like a good height, very good, good shape, good looking, speaks very well. That is the ultimate like attraction to these other races opposed to the black woman. You understand? And that's stereotype, because when we talk about stereotypes, like there's times when you can say it can be over exaggerated and it's overblown, but like from my experience personally, and this is not someone who's hating, because again I've been with women from whatever races, and as a black man it's my duty to now send like this message that this does happens. Majority of times, especially the more, if you got a radar of like how ghetto black women can get, majority of the times they want the guy who really most of the times isn't about shit. Like I said, it is unfortunate, but that is just the sad case. And I made even a video about this. Like if Michael B. Jordan does get his next woman and he does stay outside of his race, who can blame him? He tried with you sisters, and like I said, just to quote my man Aaron the plumber, you're not qualified.
You gonna pass up on some really good men trying to go after the guys that have all the bravado and the He-Mans and stuff, because the world is telling you that the responsible, respectful man is a simp. That ain't the case. He was an amazing man then. I'm sure he's an amazing man now. He definitely liked black women.
Yeah. So yeah, those are great videos. So even when she put that at the end, Michael B. Jordan, it was amazing. He knows how to treat. He's a gentleman. You can tell he was raised in a 2-parent household. So you can tell the way Michael B. Jordan carries himself. He's a grade A person. He likes black women, but the unfortunate thing about, and that's like what I was talking about, like on this tribe, is as a black man, if you like black women, as I said, there's 2 categories you fall into. You're either the Will Smith side, which is again like good, very humble, it's the one man you can bring to your parents to say this is my man. Then you got the Tupac one, who has that super edge, super dangerous, very unpredictable, is not really someone you could ever invest with long term. Most of the black women will favor the Tupac role than the Will Smith side. You understand? And that's where you will see black men then basically say, okay, look, if these black women are not gonna like me for me, let me jump out, let me date this Asian sister, let me date this Latina sister, let me date this white woman. You understand? And I feel like some ones don't really understand this. And again, as me, someone who has experienced women from all different cultures and different backgrounds, I've basically said that that's one of the reasons why you will see black men like date and get into relationships with women outside of their race. Alright, so this is the final video, and again, this one doesn't really involve Michael B. Jordan. This is a scene from Atlanta, a very popular show that tells like the everyday life of the black experience living in the South of USA.
Yeah, I'm staring at you. How?
Is there a problem?
Not really. Saddled over there with your black man accessory, and I'm just tired of that story, to be honest. It's basic, but that's just me personally.
Okay.
Alright, so here in this clip, of course, you have probably the most stereotypical of both of the races. You got the blonde white woman who is like very soft-spoken, very relaxed. Like, I love the police, the version of the whitest woman. And then you got the black woman who's abrasive, angry, I don't need a man type of attitude, the most stereotypical black version. And again, you're gonna see in this clip again why some of the reasons why you see black men, because statistics shows that majority of black men and black women are in relationships together. And of course that comes down to environment. Like I said, if you're in places, of course, like in the Africa or in the Caribbean, majority of the times there will be black women that will be in your surroundings. So of course you're gonna connect with them and make families. Where the difference is, and this is something I've experienced now, is when you're living in the West, especially places like where I'm in Toronto, Canada, the place is so diverse. And when you are dealing with a woman, it doesn't matter what race they are, but they become more of an opponent. There's someone who should be in your team, and then times they are unfortunately women from your community. Why should you waste time? The life is short. You need to be with a woman who wants to be with you and wants to see you grow, and again, go follow that trajectory to where you need to be in life. You don't need to be dealing with someone who's gonna be like It's not worth the time. It's only one life, my guys. Let's continue.
Maybe I'm just a good woman.
Huh?
Like a good girlfriend. I've been with him since he was doing community theater. I cooked, I cleaned, I've had his back from the very beginning. Maybe two good people found each other, and I'm a good woman who found a good man.
Right, so I gotta get sick for this. I gotta get the RichManZ sick for this. So what the blonde chick said, it said is something that happens 1,000 amount of times. If you go back to my library, I made a video on Dr. Umar. Again, powerful black activists, like nobodies are not tolerated. Yes, Dr. Umar. But he said something that was very important on the video I reacted. He talked about that most of the times black women, when they're with a black man, if this guy is not set up yet, like I said, the 666 rule came from one of these jabronis who is probably in Atlanta now. If you're not following that, if you're not financially set, if you maybe don't reach the requirements like you're 6'4", if you're not packing some heavy artillery, if you know what I mean, if you don't meet those requirements, most times a black woman will not even give you a time of day. Whereas the other races, they're more looking for like, who in the logical sense is gonna work for me as a good part to then build a family with. That's what they see. There's a lot of like when cultures, like, and I've been like around, so it's like I know, and I've been in these types of discussions of when white women are finding a mate, they're looking for legacy, they're looking for like how this is going to be for the next generations. The same as Indians, the same as Mexicans, the same as Chinese. They're looking at that size, where I feel like especially the women from our community, it's not all of them, but it's a strong portion of them, it's a short-term thing. Just like one rapper could be famous today and then he's gone tomorrow. It's just that thrill of the moment. And I believe because they sometimes don't have that long foresight of like, what is this gonna be like in the next 10 to 20 years, that's where that anger and resentment, and it's perfectly displayed in this video.
Bitch, don't even act like you don't know what's going on out here. You got all the advantages in the world to be a good woman. You can afford to invest early. I ain't got time to be sitting out here with no community theater ass nigga for 8 years and wishing on the goddamn star. There are plenty of good black women, but you won't see Brad Pitt trying to date Shonda Rhimes.
I just love Devion.
Bitch, I love him too.
Great video. Yeah. So it's a great video. It's a short but sweet video, but that's exactly what happens. And to tie this in Michael B. Jordan, because you understand, like whoever's like the lucky woman who's able to, you know, get Michael B. Jordan will be great. And but I personally believe that for someone, because where Michael B. Jordan is, he's reached like a type of level that a lot of black actors don't reach. As I said, the gates is small, you understand. There's actors there, and I'm gonna be real honest, this is not putting shade. There's John Boyega there, there's Damson Idris, there's the guy who's gonna be the next Blade. Yeah, there's actors who, there's black actors, or let's just say ethnic actors, who they have a lot of popularity and they can do some good things, but they can't really get to that top echelon. And I said the only people who have made it before is really Denzel and Will Smith. Like, I think Idris Elba he's there, I do believe, because Idris Elba, I believe he broke later than there, because Idris Elba is within the same age group as Will Smith, so he's there. But as good as Idris Elba is, he still is no Will Smith or Denzel, like I said. And to be honest, when we're talking about blockbuster, and the most like notable name, Will Smith is the guy, man. He's been doing it for 30 something years. I feel Michael B. Jordan, from what he's done in the movie and being like a sex symbol, and like he just has that style and fashion. He's very trendy and current in these times. I think he's the closest to being that top echelon of black actors. When you are that high, ladies and gentlemen, it's very difficult to waste time with some ratchet black woman like this. Oh, but she's a black woman and I need to be with her because this is gonna preserve my race and that. I just don't believe you need to do that, because again, Michael B. Jordan is not in Africa where it's predominantly black. He's not in Jamaica, predominantly black. He's in a place where it's mixed. So he has the options to choose. And I start to even understand that now, as like even I'm doing what I said I was gonna do 15 years ago and I'm doing this now. I start to open my eyes to see like, yeah, why you do see like top prominent black black figures, like they outside the race. It's just that like you just don't have to tolerate that. You understand? Going back to the video, what they said, like the white woman was with him 8 years. The guy, the black woman was getting angry that she's with another brother. She basically stood with him when he was nothing, when he was like a nobody, and stood with him to this day. Now as a somebody. Black chicks, as I mentioned with that Dr. Umar, they don't have that patience. There needs to be a Ferrari out in the driveway. We need to be taking a cruise to Ibiza, or let's say Lanzarote, or to Greater Greece. They think of the short term. It's like as I said this earlier in the video, and I bring it back in full circle, is like I said, Rome wasn't built in a day, and it takes a lot of struggle to get to places where Michael B. Jordan is. Sure, he's doing great and successful now, but people don't understand the struggles that he's taken in. You know, I'm nowhere near that kind of level. I'm not even in there, but people don't understand the struggles that I've gone to get here. You feel me? You understand? So that's where I think. And this was a video that what's cool about this, because I actually reacted to this video when I was in Mexico. And you want to talk about struggle, making that transition from Mexico to Canada, and I'm a guy coming from Europe. People do not get that. They just want to see like, yo, when's the BMW coming out, Rich? You know, when they want to see that. You understand? So I relate on this video 1000%. As I said, go where you're appreciated. You don't have to tolerate any bullshit, especially when you're doing everything right. Guys like Michael B. Jordan is doing everything right. When I mentioned Will Smith, what I see with someone like Will Smith was that this is a guy who was trying to be very like respectful and faithful to his race, who basically and to like his black queen woman, who basically did not want to give him that same respect. As I said, a woman like Jada Pinkett, and I've made videos on this, so I won't go too long about this, but she has already been imprinted by Fox. You understand? She was imprinted in Tupac Shakur is the man that makes her panties wet. She doesn't get that from Will Smith. That's just certain sensation. It makes her pussy purr. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And of course, we gotta remember that money never sleeps, and neither do I. See you all next time.